Hi everyone, my name is Apollonia Rockwell. I'm the founder of True Safety, and today's special guest, I'm so excited. This is my good friend Keith, my coworker, owns a few businesses in the oil and gas industry and in the construction, manufacturing world, and I've had the chance to work with Keith Martin for almost 2 years now, and working with you has been incredible for so many reasons. But one thing that I just really look up to you for, and what I've learned over the last 2 years working with you is, and we were just talking about this before we started, was even though you own a few businesses and you've come from the field and now you're running multiple divisions in Colorado and Texas and Virginia and so many other places, you have not lost what's most important. And your perspective every single day, your focus has always been people. And I think that's what has made you and your whole team, everyone that surrounds you, I feel like that has been what has made you guys so successful, is your focus on people. And I just want to dive in a little bit on your background and your experiences and what you think has made your companies so successful. I don't know. So you've been in the industry for how many years?
I started in 1990, so I guess it'd be 28 years now.
Okay. Oil and gas, construction?
Oil and gas, worked in the power industry. I've seen the trends of, the booms up and down from where I built drilling rigs. We built ethanol plants. We've seen a trend when the ethanol industry was going, and there really wasn't much drilling for petroleum. That we worked in the ethanol plants, and during the natural gas boom there, we was building natural gas power plants.
Wow, where at?
We started in Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, a little bit everywhere. And but I've seen it change from when we started. I started out on the pipeline with my dad at the time where 1990, there wasn't no JSAs or JHA. They would just get it, and hard hats. I've been on, when we first started out, you really didn't have to wear a hard hat. It's kind of crazy. But and then I think back there on the hand injuries, there never was no such thing as writing down a near miss.
Near miss and observation programs, all the safety regulations that we have today that we go through. Does it blow your mind how we operate today and what's required of you as a contractor? Is required to you today versus what was required of you to get the job done even 10 years ago? What does that look like? What about just even 5 years ago?
Well, yeah, now, 5 years ago, like I say, going back to 1990, where you didn't have, you'd have a meeting in the morning telling you where you're going to go and you're going to get it done. Now, I remember seeing my first JSA probably. Yeah,
when was that?
I was trying to think the year of that. It was in the 90s, later 90s, I believe. I'm bad with dates. It seemed like everything was yesterday, or So
what industry was it? What company?
It was on a power plant.
Okay.
And actually, the job I was on, a man did get killed on that job.
I was going to say, what sparked the need for this JSA?
Well,
so somebody died on the job.
The company we was working for, they implemented it, but it was kind of a deal where, hey, y'all try this, but it was check the box type JSA.
Hazards, you're checking the box.
Yeah, you're checking the box.
Did anyone train you how to use it?
Yeah, and that's something we'll talk about later on routine and checking the box deals. But
what happened? That fatality on that, was that?
It was a fall. It was a fall. I've been on the first job. I went out on a power plant. I seen them. I've been on 3 jobs where men were killed, and they were all falls. And that's when I think at OSHA's number one. That's the number one killer.
OSHA cited and.
Yeah, the man was right before Christmas. I remember because we were he was in the stack of the backside of the boiler, coming down off on the power plant. You've got your boiler, everything up top, but there's the stack where all your, the steam. If it's a steam boiler, you're going to have your emissions going out. But we was building that, and he was coming down the ladder rung, and actually one of the rungs on there wasn't bolted or welded right, and it broke, and he fell to his death.
How far did he fall?
He fell probably, that stack was 100 feet. He fell about 60 feet to his death.
And you knew him? Did you ever relate? I mean,
that job probably had 1,200 men on it.
Wow.
And I was working nights, running a crew at nights and the daytime. This happened at daytime. It was right before shift change,
Of course, yeah.
we come in and they shut her down, and I remember we was finishing that job. We had to wear a safety harness as soon as we clocked in. We called it brassing in then. You used to have to get your brass.
Okay.
You'd get your, if you needed to get your tool or whatever, you had a number.
Okay.
I remember going to the brass shack and a bulletin there, everyone will have their safety. We had to wear a safety harness whether you was on the ground, 3 foot up. I remember we was working 12-hour shifts, having to wear that heavy harness.
Yeah.
And,
did they tell you?
instead of being proactive, I guess that was reactive now that I look about it. Where did we fail that guy? Why did he, I thought about that for a long time.
So it stuck with you that what happened, even though there were 1,200 men, then there was this fatality, so that stuck with you. It was right before Christmas, you said?
Yes, I remember taking up collection off my crew, and I didn't know the guy personally, but I knew he had children, and right at Christmas, so we took up something to send his wife. But that's something that'll stick with you forever, And then Roxboro, North Carolina, I was on a job there, and I was young. I was probably, I think I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I was welding out there. And there was a younger kid went up in a man basket with a crane.
Okay.
And when you're working in a man basket, the kid stood waiting for the basket to stop swinging.
Yeah.
You bring it, and you don't ever reach out and try to pull the basket to the structure. Well, apparently the kid wasn't tied off. Well,
I was going to ask.
Is swinging, and he reached out to pull himself over to the structure where he needed to be. Well, when he pulled, if the basket weighing more, what it did, it pulled him out of the. So he fell about to his death.
Wow.
And I remember being 20 years old thinking, whoa.
I do the same thing every day, or I do the same task, and that could have been me, or that could have been one of my guys.
And that's what I'd like to talk about. We preach complacency, but
at all of our safety meetings, so we work together,
and
we talk about complacency all the time. What is, how do you talk about complacency to your guys?
Well, I was thinking of that when you told me that you wanted me to come in and talk. We need to change things up. Assuming assumptions. Complacency. If you think about it, all incidents or accidents or death.
It's not going to happen.
Assumptions or assuming something usually root causes something.
100%.
Okay.
It's not going to happen to me. Yeah.
Apollonia, I believe you was working with us where we'd been lifting a separator for a client for 3 years with a 12K telehandler forklift.
Last year?
Okay. We've been doing this for 3 years. Well, one day we dropped one. And boy, stops and, we assumed that we've lifted that same piece of equipment for 3 years that nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, they brought in a little different that weighed more.
Yeah.
So, assuming created an incident.
Sure.
That's complacency.
Sure. Yeah.
We took it
That's
for granted.
complacency.
Yeah, that's when it's something you do 100 million times that's going to get you killed. And people need to think of that, and that's,
I love that.
You know what assuming does. It makes an ass out of you and me. If you look, there's assume.
Out of you and me.
Yeah, because let's just take it in perspective. We want to talk about culture, and we want to talk about safety. Culture starts at home, from your routine. I'm going to tell you what will kill you.
Yeah.
We're creatures of habit. Humans are creatures.
100%.
We got a routine. I guarantee you got a routine every morning.
Yes, I do.
It takes women 4 hours to get ready to go to work.
How long does it take you to get to it?
15 minutes, I'm out the door.
Okay.
But I've got a routine. We all do.
We all do. We do. I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You do it every morning. So Okay, you like to drink. I like to drink coffee in the morning. Okay. How about one a good example on coffee drinking is like to put your coffee in. You know, some people's got the automatic starter, or you put your coffee in the night before. When you get up, you just go push. You know, then where you're ready for your cup of coffee. Well, you're assuming that coffee's in that filter, right?
Routine, yeah, routine.
Okay. One morning, someone put cinnamon in there, thinking it's
Hilarious.
coffee. Okay, so you're on your routine that morning.
Mindlessly going through the motions.
Okay. Assuming your wife has put coffee in there for you, like she always has, but being busy with the kids or something, she gets into the spice jar and scoops up cinnamon and puts in there.
Yeah.
Well, then the next morning you just get that coffee. Did you check
No.
when you push that
No.
whether that was coffee or not?
You just assumed.
And you get it and you're like, what is that? But then it's too late, isn't it?
It's too late.
How about that was poison?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't prepare for the unexpected. Okay, assuming. We talk about complacency. We've got to build a culture, start teaching your people. It starts at home and it starts on your drive to work.
I love
when you go to a four-way, Apollonia, if you're an ongoing vehicle and they're giving you a blinker left, you're assuming they're going left.
Right.
When you drive out in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's what we don't prepare for. Are we prepared to be defensive in case they turn right?
Right.
They turn right and T-bone you.
You're not prepared.
There's a lot of assumptions. Assumptions will kill you, and that's what, you know, we preach complacency. But let's just break it down and say assumptions is what causes complacency.
So bring me through, what do some of the conversations look like between you and your crews and between you and your guys? What are some of the morning conversations you have with your guys so they can get prepared for the day?
Well, you know, the other day, Emmanuel and them was up there.
You did a safety stand down the other...
Stand down. And I thought, we got to think outside the box here. I've got to get these guys' attention.
Yeah.
So I took notes and I challenged them to something every one of us is guilty, from you to me to everybody. So I made some notes, and I brought their attention on being complacent and how it would how it hurts your culture, or how it stagnates a culture. Let's say that.
I like
it
that.
stalemates. You seem like you're making progress. You've seen it. And
You
all
get
of a sudden
to one
you have
level.
a first date. You're like, what have we done? Everything, an accident can be prevented.
Yep. I believe
It's
in
usually
that.
something that the simple. So I wrote down a few things. I said, we routine. I said everybody gets in the yard in the morning. Okay, like you said, first
Real
thing in the
world.
morning, they're fixing to be dispatched to where they go.
Yeah.
Okay, we got assigned drivers. There's a 4-man crew, and they all get in the truck. I said, that one driver. I said, do you guys let him drive? And what do you got? 3 guys sleeping, 3 guys texting on their phone, playing. They all look. I said, I'm gonna challenge you too. Does everybody wear their seat belts in the crew truck?
And is everyone holding each other accountable if they're not?
Yes, I said, now is everybody guilty? Okay.
Have some
I said,
honesty.
is everyone keeping? I said, you guys are on the clock getting paid to ride. Okay. So as soon as you get in that truck, you start thinking about the safety of the day because you got to get home to your families. If you see something, you own it. If the guy's in there, that's what I explained to him. A crew truck, like an oil field, a roustabout truck, or okay, we've got hundreds of pounds of that truck is tooled up. You've seen them. You got pipe threaders. You got 5-foot rock bars. You got shovels, rakes, rigging. You got the toolbox. I said, if you get in a wreck, 4 men in there, and you roll one of these 5,500 trucks, you don't know where that stuff's going. You know, I was in an accident one time in a welding truck. I rolled a welding truck. I got T-boned going through a 4-way stoplight.
Yeah.
When they hit me doing 85 mile an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And I rolled that truck 6 times. And I did not have my seatbelt on in Apollonia. And I had a welding truck. I was welding at the time, and I had tools everywhere. Do you know
where those tools
do you know what everything? I had it scattered for 1/4 of a mile.
I was going to say.
And then inside my truck, the debris flying around. And that's what I was telling those guys, you know.
You shared that experience with your guys.
Yes. And if I'd have wore my seatbelt, I could have made it. I got about thrown through the windshield, you know. It pinned me in. I had kicked my way out. But I had glass everywhere in my face. It killed the people that hit me. And it happened
Oh my gosh.
when I unexpected, within a quarter mile from where I was staying, you know.
Wow.
I've drove that route hundreds of times.
Right.
But that one time, you know, could have been a lot worse.
And you shared that experience with your guys, and I feel that these last years working with you, I feel that you've always been very authentic and real with your people. And I feel that you've always shared your experiences, and you've always been practical and realistic. You don't live in this fairy tale land that, you know, you hear so many companies say safety is number one, safety first. And I know that you believe in that, but you're realistic in the challenges that your guys face every day. And so you address that head on. You're real with your people, and I think that that's really important.
Exactly. You know, we hear the term practice what you preach.
Yes.
You know, a lot of companies, they want to put a textbook model. Okay, they want to just lay the rules out on how, look at all these standard operating procedures.
Everything's going to go perfect, right? And then you're like, no.
This is like Sean. We got a railroad crew. I was talking to him this morning. We're out there on the Brazos River.
Yeah.
The driftwood is about to, it was building up on a railroad bridge because they got a lot of rain. And well, we're doing something we've never done before. We're out there with boats and tractors. We're removing drift. I said, Sean, we've never done that before. They're going to finish up today. I said, have a timeout right now. Today's the last day. I said, everything's went smooth. Gather them up and say, look, guys, we've never done. I said, first question I want you to ask people: how many times have we removed driftwood?
None.
I said, none. There you go.
The guys are going to be like,
so we've done good so far. We figure we'll be done by noon today. That can bite you in the butt. I said,
because you've seen it happen before.
Yeah, I said, bring them up and say, I said, the 5-minute rule. Sean said, what's the 5-minute rule? I said, that's something, you know, when you do your safety tailgate meetings, whatever, Apollonia, you know, JSAs, whatever, we're telling people what they're going to be doing for the day.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, we go over our JSA. Okay, that's fine. But now, let's do the 5-minute rule. Let's take 5 minutes to go back and say, hey, did we identify all the hazards?
Let's walk around Let's walk around the site.
Take this 5 minutes saying maybe we missed something.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, say the operator's going to run that piece of equipment, tell him to take 5 minutes before he even gets in that piece of equipment and say,
what could go wrong here?
Yeah, what can go wrong? Am I ready for the unexpected?
You guys see that philosophy. I know that in the last year, you guys have expanded from an oil and gas company to working with UP to working with International Paper in Virginia. You're doing things that we have not done before. I know you're bringing on great people, but I think what has made you guys so successful is you're constantly meeting with your people, and you're training and you're coaching and you're mentoring them to prepare for the unexpected, to adopt the safety principles that we've taken from the oil field, and we're bringing it over to UP, and we're bringing it over to International Paper. And do you think that what has been the biggest challenge growing a team and expanding it just from Colorado? You guys have opened divisions and offices in Texarkana, and you're opening all these divisions. What's been the hardest part about expanding? Is it the work, or is it the people?
You know, there's challenges and everything, and, you know, we talk about whether it's oil and gas, whether it's railroad or whatever. You know, we've said this, we're in the people business. People business. It don't matter what we're doing. We've got people doing a job. So we got to be real. Don't make a fairy tale of how things are going to be. Get real with people and say, and let them know, you know, there's hazards on a job.
This can kill you.
You know, building a team, we talk about, you said challenges. Well, you've got to build a team because you're trying to, basically, you're starting a crew. You're kind of like recruiting. Say a scout goes and recruits baseball players.
Yeah.
we're basically doing the same thing. We want the best operators. We want the best welders or whatever.
And do you always get the best of the best?
No, you building a team, and you know that's what I tell people. Everybody has their job, and that as a supervisor, manager, you've got to know your people.
Oh, that's so good. So many people are missing that, Keith.
You know, you've got to know your people, and you can't run a job with an email. You cannot run a job with a JSA.
100%.
You run a job by being on the job and knowing.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That is so good.
Knowing your people. Mm-hmm. You've got to be the key to being successful.
Gosh, that's
is
good.
knowing the capabilities of every man that works for you.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I tell guys all the time, you don't put a pitcher catching and a catcher pitching. You know, maybe the guy plays, he's a left fielder, and that's all he knows.
Yeah, that's good.
You put people where they're comfortable and where they benefit the company, the team the most.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the first step to that is knowing your people and being on the job.
Exactly.
You can't run a company with the best typed SOPs and the best HSE manual at the office that nobody has ever seen, and the best JSA practices, and the best, all this documentation and paperwork is great, but if you don't know your people, you're not going to succeed. That's
exactly. You can have, like I told them there, you can just wipe your, and throw that paper out if you're not relaying anything.
Yeah.
You see, I've been with some companies over the years, an incident happens, and here comes the investigation.
Yeah.
And they go bringing out manuals and paperwork no one's ever seen. You're like, what is that?
I love, yes. What's
Wayne,
that?
That's never been relayed down to the
Field
people that
level.
need. But like I told crew today on that project we talked about, you talk about building a team.
Yeah.
I said, Sean, here's how we're going to build this. I said, you've just done a task that we've never done before. I said, when y'all complete today, I said, I want you to gather your team up, and you're going to start I want you to write a standard operating procedure for removing drift. And every one of you that was on that team is going to be involved with writing this standard operating procedure.
That's so good.
I said, how can I write one? Yeah, I've never done it.
Right.
How can I do it from my desk or wherever and send you an email and tell you how to do it?
How can the office team create an SOP and they've never been on site before?
Exactly.
How can, I believe in that.
I don't want to look up and Google and plagiarize somebody's standard operating procedure. I said, Sean, you write it down. I don't care how crude it is, but we can always improve on it.
Right.
But I said, you write that down. If we ever get called to do another one, if you make this successful with no injuries, we're going to do the job next, the same way, and then you're going to add to that each time on lessons learned. I said that standard operating procedure can always be revised. And I said, from everybody in there, I want a part of what. And I said, why are we going to do that? Okay, we're building a team. Say I got 6 guys down there, Apollonia, and they were part of building a standard operating procedure out there. Okay, say we get another drift job. Maybe we can't send 4 of them. Maybe we can just send one. Say we send Gary over there. Before they start that job, I want that standard operating procedure go over. Okay, say they're going over it, and someone has a question. Gary there was on the team writing that.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And
he has ownership.
He takes ownership.
Yes, I knew you.
That's how
you're
you
going
build
with
a
that.
culture, and it's the people.
Gosh.
And then he's going to explain,
Keith, that's
hey,
it.
that's this. I was there when we wrote that. And this is how it needs to be.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be lessons learned.
Yeah. That's every single day. I feel that
if
we're
you're not
always
learning something every day, that's what I was telling guys. We can learn for every one of us. We talk about being a mentor.
Mentor, a coach. How do you do that, and how do you teach other up and coming people in your company to coach and mentor versus holding all the skills and knowledge to themselves and only being self-serving, self-centered? How do you coach someone to be like that?
I tell the team when I gather them up, I look at them, I said, I want every one of you to want my job. Y'all come after me.
You tell them that.
I tell them that. You've heard me say that. I want you to want my job.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? They come to you wanting a raise or this. I cannot promote until I have a replacement for that individual.
100%.
And here's what I ask them. Have you been training your replacement?
No. And they're like, no.
Well, some people is afraid to give knowledge. Or
Right.
They don't want. I want to surround myself with the most knowledge I can get to be successful. To be successful, don't worry about who gets credit for what you're.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You just, a lot of people want to hold that information in. You've seen that.
Yes.
And it holds growth back.
Yet it holds growth back. You're not able, like you said, to take this crew to the next level if not everybody on that team has the same skills and knowledge.
Okay, Apollonia, if you've got a superintendent, his safety record speaks for itself. He runs jobs efficiently, on time, on budget. The margins are good. Okay, and you've got a senior position available, and he's the one in it, okay? And he comes and applies. I sit there and I got to evaluate, who am I going to... I'm taking a good man from a crew and moving him up. So
who's going to take his spot?
Yeah, and I like to hire within. You want to build a team,
That's
you hire within.
That's another key pro tip, right?
Hire within.
Hire within, and that takes time because you're coaching and mentoring. You're investing in your people versus just paying somebody to. Yeah.
I'd rather hire someone within because they've done bought in on what you're trying to build your program as. When you come hiring on the outside, okay, and that's what I tell them, man. Train your replacement.
Train your replacement.
And then you can move up. If you got to bring out outside people, and we'll talk about this later on. We talked about there's probably going to be a growth, and we're going to expand. A little boom's going to happen here in the DJ Basin.
So, and for the listeners, because our listeners won't all be from Colorado, but a lot will be. A lot will be. Yeah. So, can you talk a little bit about? So we just beat 112. We're super excited about that. But what is the DJ Basin about to go through in your mind?
Well, what I see, and when I first come up here in 2011, there was we were drilling, they were 11 till now, I'm going on 7 years up here here in the DJ Basin that, these major oil companies are coming in and drilling. Then we just faced Proposition 112, which they put on a ballot on a 2,500-foot setback, which we seen, if that was to pass, what pretty well eliminate. You've seen the map, Apollonia. What it showed, there was just a few spots.
Little spots. It was basically an oil and gas ban. We beat it, and so what are we about to face? More growth?
Let's stop right here on that. Let's back it up. The 112, we defeated it. But there was enough votes, we know we're going to see it again.
100%,
So we ain't completely defeated it yet.
I agree.
So in 2 years, I think, I'm not a big government official or anything, but I think in 2 years it could be back on the ballot again, and we could possibly see that. So
what do we need to do in these next 2 years?
Just like one of our clients, they just opened up 258 more permits where they're going to drill, which is going to, when we say drill, that's going to create facilities, flow lines, pipelines. So what I'm going to see, what we're going to see is these major oil and gas companies expand in the next 2 years because of the possibilities of 112 being back on the ballot. So what's going to happen is what I'm projecting. I could be wrong. We're not promised tomorrow, so we don't know. But what I'm projecting is you see these companies coming in, there's going to be another boom. Okay, say they're going to drill another 2,000 wells projected in the DJ Basin.
What are the challenges that then your companies will face after this growth?
Short service employees.
New employees.
And new employees. Okay.
Where are you going to find? I mean, I feel that, I know you guys are always hiring. Where are we going to find these employees?
I put ads on Indeed and stuff. So you're going to go across, we're going to try to pull across the United States, but I like to hire local, but the employment pool is about tapped out for good experienced hands. So what you're going to see is, as the growth, the oil and gas companies these jobs are going to come up. You're going to get these projects, and they're going to expect them to be done. Okay.
Same deadlines.
Same deadline.
With growth, added work, and we don't have people. We don't have experienced
You're
people.
going to start taking on new employees. Okay, and that's what's scary. So that's why you do as a team. So then you're going to have to break up your experienced guys. You're going to have to put, our SSE program, where you put one experienced guy to three. We can't leave them alone until we know they can, they're proven. So
how you mentioned it before was that how you described this new growth period is that it's a safety issue.
It's safety.
It's a safety issue. And
not an employment problem, but a safety issue.
I love how you viewed that. And another thing you said earlier that I liked how you worded it, because it's how your mind is shifting, is when that first fatality that you talked about, you said the first thing that ran through your mind is, how as a company did we fail that person? And so as a business owner, I'm just curious, does your mind ever shut off? First and foremost, does your mind shut off about business? So what are the thoughts what consumes you when you get home from work? What are the thoughts? There's so much growth and opportunity, and I know we're all excited, but what consumes you when you go home?
Brody can tell you, we're up to around 1,000 employees between two companies, and we get home in the evening. You think there's a lot more people out there that need to make it home. So the phone rings.
I know you answer,
Yeah, or you hear an ambulance, or someone calls and says, "Hey, there's a truck." We get called. Is that one of our guys? You just, when you get home at night, you just pray that everyone made it home too. That's the key. We lose focus. It's not about getting the projects done. It's not about the margins. It's about the people. And if we get one person killed or injured, we failed. There's no job, no matter how big it is or how much money is involved, worth one person's life. We can drill another well tomorrow. We can buy more equipment. We can replace all that. But one loved one taken from their family, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
And I spoke the other day. I made a call. I'd hired two guys from down. I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Okay.
And, when I started up here, I brought up a gentleman I'd worked with. Well, his brother was needing a job. He's a younger kid. We come up working, and the brother had went back home, but the younger brother stayed, and I put him on a mechanical crew. He was doing good. And this wasn't even on the job injury, but I felt it took personal. He was riding his bicycle uptown, and a lady run through the stop sign and hit him. Well, in his wallet was my business card. The only number they could find, so they give me a call. Do you know this individual? I said, yeah. He's on life support. So had to go down to the hospital. I went in there and talked.
You're the only
So
one
I called the brother I knew and told him what happened. So, then it got the parents. So I had to make a phone call to the parents to let them know. That's what even though that wasn't on that job site.
He was your
I felt responsible because I had hired the kid. Not very responsible, but I felt, I took that, it hurt me.
It hurt you. It affected you.
It affected me.
He was your guy. This was off the job. You were the only one that he had here in town.
And the reason he was even here was because he was working for our company.
What was that phone call like?
It was tough,
You called his mom?
His mother.
And what did you say?
They were apparently a divorced couple, but they kept him on life support till the family got up there to make the decision. But JB, one of the supervisors, me and him, and went in. I remember going into that room with that young man attached to that life support. And I remember praying for him, and I touched his feet down there. They were ice cold. I knew he was You know, they were just letting him till the family.
Until the family came.
Yeah, but you know, that puts things in perspective. This young man, he's no longer with us, and you think, you know, he assumed that car was going to stop that day when he riding that bicycle across there. You know, we talk about complacency. It goes to the home too. These, you know, we want to preach culture and stuff. What are we doing at home when we get there? It starts there. It's not just on the job.
And that's why you feel that it's so important to talk about those things on and off the job. And I'm telling you, I've always felt from you that you've had this tremendous sense of responsibility for your people. And it goes to show.
I take it personal. Yeah.
You take it personal. And it's you and the people that the leaders of the companies. I feel that you guys have this tremendous heart for your guys, and you respect them, and you're with them, and you fight battles with them. And I've never heard you say after a first aid or a near miss or an incident or almost incident, I've never heard you say, that guy was stupid. That guy was da-da-da-da. You and the leadership team have always been like, where did we fail?
Exactly. You know.
Always.
You know, you have to discipline someone or someone fires someone over something. There's one question I always ask myself. If, say you have to let someone go, there's a question that runs through my head. Did I set this guy up for success? Did I give him all the tools he needed to be successful? So you talk about as a team, someone gets hurt, we've let the team down. It's not that one person's fault. We're all responsible for safety.
All of us.
You know, we should all feel that. How are we going to prevent this from happening again? Don't sit there and say this guy's stupid. You take and learn from it. That's why we do our near misses. That's why, you know, we got to get out to people. A near miss, write it down. It's nothing. But like I told those guys, let's don't get complacent. We're just writing near misses down. Are you discussing these near misses?
Are you talking about it?
Do a stop work right then when you have a near miss and say, hey, we did this. Going forward, this is the corrective action. Are we doing that?
Yeah.
You know, and I asked the guys the other day. I'll get back to routine. I know I get all over the board here at Apollonia.
I love it.
But I was asking them guys every one of us is guilty. How many times have you signed the job safety and now, you know, your JSA and signed it without even reading it?
Yeah.
Everybody, raise your hand. I have. I've been guilty.
Yeah.
We're in a hurry.
Well, you're always real.
Where's your JSA? I'll just sign it and don't even read.
Yeah.
So I'm putting someone in harm's way when I do that. Because I hadn't even looked and seen what the hazards are out there.
You don't know.
You know, it may say, do not go out the back door. There's no stairs there. And I didn't read it. Well, okay, I'll see you guys. And I go out the job trailer and I open the door and I fall and break my leg.
Yeah.
Well, I'm responsible.
Yeah.
Because I didn't read the JSA.
And the people that allowed you the people that allowed you, hey, the one that said, hey, we got to get started. Sign this really quick. Let's get out of here.
That's what I tell people. I don't care if I'm the owner, the COO, or whatever. If I'm on a job and I'm doing something that's not right, I don't care if you're the guy picking the rocks up. You come over and tell Keith Martin, shut her down.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
If you own it, if you see it, you own it. I said, don't be the guy that says, hey, look at him. He ain't got no safety glasses on.
Look at this guy. Look what's going to happen.
Well, you go over there and say, hey, how hard is it to point at your eyes? Top of your head. I don't want to be the guy. I see the guy working all day with no safety glasses.
And you just turn the other way.
Yeah, and then you go see him in Walmart and he's got a patch on his eye where he got his eye put out. And you get to thinking, well, I'm responsible because I could have told him, put your glasses on.
I allowed that to happen.
Yeah, and, you know, it's got to be team. It's got to be a buy-in, the culture. That teamwork. And you've heard me say, plan your work your plan.
I've heard you say that a lot, yeah.
Without a plan, communication.
And taking responsibility and communication. A little bit shift. what advice would you give for listeners that are they are the new person? They don't have all this oil field experience. They want to get into this industry and they want to make it in the oil and gas or construction industry, whatever, but they want to advance their career. What advice would you give to someone just working in the field and they're wanting something more? What advice would you give them on how to get to...
Ask questions.
No, I've heard you say this.
Questions.
I've heard you say this time and time at our safety meetings.
When I was growing up, people would probably get annoyed with me. I wanted to ask. I wanted to know why this done this and why. I'm sure I've got on people's nerves, but how do you learn? Don't be the guy. Here's what I see. What's our new millennials? Okay, let me talk about millennials.
Oh my goodness!
The Facebook textbook or text era. You go out on a job. That's why, that social media stuff, that's what I told them. I said, if I get one incident caused because someone's on their cell phone.
Oh, my gosh.
Boy, it's not going to be good. But
you treat these guys like your sons.
Yes,
you treat them like your kids. So I know where you're coming from.
We need to talk about work ethics is what I'm seeing in the new workforce. Like you're talking about the up and coming.
Yes. Okay. What advice would you give them? What would you say?
Okay, well, in today's society, in the millennial generation, they want to start at the top.
Okay.
There's only one job in your life that you can start at the top and work your way to the bottom. That's digging a post hole with a post hole digger. That's the only job you start at the top.
So the advice you to give these kids starting in the industry
is ask questions, be attentive to learn, and don't be a know-it-all.
I like that.
I do not like explaining something, and people, they give you this head nod. You've seen them.
Glazed eyes.
Mm-hmm. And they go right out there and do the right opposite of what you just said.
Are they afraid? Are they afraid? Is that kid afraid?
Do not be intimidated to ask a question. That's what I asked the question. Is it everybody in here say they're comfortable stopping work? Everybody said yes. But there's someone in that crowd.
That if they saw you or if they saw one of the owners.
They're intimidated. I said, I don't care if it's the president. If you see something wrong, stop the job.
You've said that, whether we're on our, working with one of our biggest customers. I hear you say it in the safety meetings all the time, even if it's the customer walking through and it's the VP or it's the company man or whatever, in a respectful way. Ask questions, or hey, tell them to put their PPE on if they're not wearing the proper PPE. Like I've heard you say that time and time again. So these are the 3 keys.
A young SSE.
I
encourage them to ask questions.
Number 1, ask questions.
If you ask questions, what are you going to be doing? You can learn.
They're going to learn.
Okay.
So be an open learner. Number 2 is being an open learner.
What are you going to do? Apply.
Yeah.
Apply what you've learned.
Ooh, that's good. This is good.
Ask, learn, and apply.
Okay. Ask, learn, and apply. The work ethic. This is the formula to even a great work ethic.
That's the work ethic.
That's the work ethic, and then keep at it. Be consistent. Be a coach and a mentor, and that's how.
And be willing to admit when you don't know something.
That's
right now,
good. That's good. Mm-hmm.
Now, hey, I don't know everything. Don't claim to know everything.
Yep.
But I come from a generation to work that you show me one time, and I got it. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid. Swallow your pride. Mm-hmm. Keith Martin don't know something, I'm going to have to go over and say, hey, can you show me how to do this? Because say, look, I'm not dumb, but if you show me one time, I can catch on and it'll go from there.
Yeah, I've heard you say that even to this day. Expanding into the rail industry and paper plan industry and all the other industries you're expanding into, you're asking questions.
You know that we had that big meeting, that big Union Pacific guy looked at me and he said, what do you know about building railroad bridges? I said, not a damn thing. But I said, I know that I need to hire and build the best team that I can. That's my job. So I can build a bridge, and then I can learn from the team.
And then you scored the work because
He said, that's the best answer. He said, I've heard so many. He said,
BS answers.
He said,
we were there.
And he repeated that answer. He said, you give the best answer of the whole conference. You said, not a damn thing. But my job is to build a team that does.
You're so real and you're so authentic. And when we're going to these meetings, you see people with their fancy suits and their pens, and they're like, we are here to talk about our safety and safety culture, safety first. And then they see our team, who's you, Brody, you guys are so authentic, so real, and you guys win them over every time because I think you're honest with your customers.
Honesty. Okay. Overpromise, underdeliver. That's what. Nothing has been built by an email in the construction.
I like how you've said that.
You know,
teams, culture,
safety.
Okay.
With any of that applied or anything, it's the people, Apollonia, the team. I'm just as good as the people below me.
100.
If the people below me is not producing, I'm not producing. You're as good as the weakest link in your team.
I've heard you say this to your guys time and time again.
Okay, we identify a weak link in our team. What do you do? Let's strengthen it.
Yeah, let's not.
How are we going to strengthen it?
Being with that person. On the job training, spending time with them, and it won't hurt you to know that person outside of work, I think is what you would say. Know that person outside of work and know who they truly are. Know what motivates them. What family do they have? Yeah. Do they have a wife, a girlfriend? Do they have children? I know you just had a new grandbaby. How has that changed your world?
Yeah, well.
So Keith Martin just had a new grandbaby. When was she born?
She was born Monday, the 12th.
How did that change? What has changed in your life?
Well, it's like I showed you those pictures.
She's
earlier.
Perfect, yeah.
Perspective. At the end of the day, why do we go to work?
Family.
For the family. Mm-hmm. Who's expecting me to be home at the end of the day?
Your kids, your grandbabies, your family.
You know, I just thinking of there, it says, safety, SAFE, somebody is anxiously waiting for you at home every day. Try to reach your home safe.
Safety.
That's safety.
Oh, my gosh.
How are we going to get home every day? And that grandbaby, talk about, she's probably the prettiest baby ever born, I imagine. No.
She's gorgeous.
Everybody say that, but, I owe it to that granddaughter to be home every night safe. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, being part of a team, Apollonia, if I allow that weak link, we talked about the weakest link, we're going to try to strengthen that weak link. But if I've got to let a weak link go to save the team, I'm going to do that.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah,
I've seen you cut cancer out of the company. I've seen you guys cut loose great performers but poor attitude. I've seen you do it. Even if it would leave you in a bind, you guys have cut out cancerous attitudes and negativity and it's all about me type of people. I've seen you cut them loose.
No one can be bigger than the team.
Gosh,
There's no I in team. Mm-hmm. Together, everyone achieves more. Mm-hmm. Working as a team. Just like you say, cancer. If we've got to identify, let's just go back to some HR. Today's millennials everybody's got, me and Brody are old school.
Yeah.
I see an issue and I'm not trying, if he's not going to be a team player, he's going to put people in harm and I got to let him go. Walk up there and say, hey, you need to go pick up your check. Today's your last day.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Look like it's not going to work out. Key indicators. We've got to know our people, okay? When we said know our capabilities are men. Okay, we spend more time with people at work than we do with our own families. You agree with that?
Yes.
So you know your people. From the time you get in the truck in the morning, you're going out to the job site. Say someone's not feeling it. Maybe he's having trouble at home with his wife. If his head's not in the game, do I allow him to work? I'd rather send that guy home if I got to pay him.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you get your head clear. But
I can tell something's off with you.
Something's off. And that's what foremans need to realize. If a guy, when you step on the job, you take those personal feelings, you put them up here, throw them back there. When you step across that line, when you're on the team and anything that could affect the team, if you're not focused, we talked about refocus. If you're not focused at the task at hand with the team,
everyone's at risk.
Everyone's at risk.
So
as a supervisor, we need to identify, hey, we're all not going to have a good day up on it. There's people that are going to be sick. Some's going to be hungover, Some's going to have family issues. When you see something that's bothering someone, one of my supervisors just lost his father. And do you tell the guy, okay, come back? I said, when you get ready and you think you can focus on work, come on back. Take the time you need. How do someone loses a father, you can't expect him to go throw him in the ground and come back to work. Do you think his head's still in the game? No. When you can focus, you come back. And that's how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's how you build a culture, Apollonia.
You treat people right. You know them, you get to know them, and you make it your responsibility to know them.
Yeah.
That's how I've seen you. That's how I've seen you guys operate.
And like I tell people, personalities. We're all going to run into different personalities. We got analytical, passive. There's different. We went through them trainings.
Yeah.
Not everybody's. They may not like you, but they may not like me, but they're going to respect me. You got to show respect, whether they like you personally or whatever. For the team, you got to show them respect. To get respect, you're going to have to give respect.
Right. I believe in that.
You just don't. People walk in there and think, "Hey, I'm Keith Martin. You better respect me." No.
That's not how you think of it.
No.
Well, you treat everyone right.
You should treat everyone. No one's bigger than the team, and it takes everyone. Apollonia, that weak link, when it breaks, what happens? It affects the whole.
Affects everyone.
Yes.
It affects everyone.
What have you seen in the field? Let me ask you a question. Okay.
So
you've been with us for the last 2 years. Your services.
Last 2 years.
What year? I remember when we brought you in, we were seeing a trend in the company, and we said we need. Do you remember Brody telling you I'd give a big presentation in front of them people?
Yeah.
They were worried about money on bringing in more safety people. Some investors from New York. Or I believe it was I better see how I word this. Not investor. It was we were going through a time where they brought in some consulting group.
Yeah.
They were cutting costs, showing us how to get on budget. I said, cutting safety budget. You're afraid to spend money here. Every dollar you spend on safety, you're going to save 1,000. Where are we going to? I'm not going to stand here and listen to people say we've got to cut safety budget.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Then you're putting the whole team in. So Brody tell you, I put out the presentation. We had an individual who's not with the company anymore, but he was against it. But I laid it out there and I said, this has got to happen.
We're invested in safety.
Yeah, we get. We was doing our annual budget and I was projecting work, and I explained to him, see all that work that's on the board? That's looking good.
Yeah.
Get one person killed, just wipe that out. We will not have it anymore. We've got to bring safety on. And that's what I'm seeing, Apollonia, coming up. And that's my question to you. As we have growth in this DJ Basin, just like I say, it's going to be a safety issue. Okay. I'm going to have trouble finding experienced hands to man the job, as well as you probably finding experienced safety people.
Yes.
So that's where safety and operations work together as a team.
You've always believed in that.
Yeah. You can put 1,000 safety people out there, but it's the individual. How do you drive home coming up? How are you going to help with the employment growth that may come aboard as we put more safety people on? What's your strategy?
It's simple. Just like you mentioned, I think the key when I see successful cultures and I see successful organizations and teams, and everyone always has their problems and issues, but when safety is not separate from operations. When companies treat it as two different departments, and safety's in the office and they have no idea what's really going on with the field operations, they don't get the time, they don't make time to be connected with the supervisors, and they don't go out in the field and make an effort to get to know what's going on out there. When those two departments are separate, I think that's when we see cultures fail. But when I see, and especially now during the time of growth and expansion, like you guys and a lot of companies will be facing, when safety is integrated with operations and leadership is on board with that, truly, not saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting here, you're leadership, I'm safety, you back me up. You back up the safety guys in the field. And so with this growth, how I have always seen it in the philosophy of what we do is we're going to continue to bring on field experienced guys and girls, and we teach them the safety. We the safety certifications and degrees and all that is great, but when safety doesn't know what's going on in the field, and they don't make an effort, because not everyone is going to have the opportunity to have field experience, but when there is not an effort made to develop relationships with guys in the field and get to know them, then safety is going to fail. Our whole goal is to respect the guys out there, to treat them with respect, because safety is no better than the guys in the field. It's all one team. And so when safety is out there building relationships, and they're out there to coach and mentor, not be a safety cop, not be a safety asshole, but when they're there to build relationships, then we succeed. And that's that's always been my philosophy. We're no better than anyone.
In Apollonia, that's what I like about our relationship is as you coming as our outside source looking in and providing us safety. When we had an individual one time that you let go, he was writing up these big reports on all these safety infraction, and we would just get an email, and he wasn't discussing it, and I'd call the project manager, what happened today? What are you talking about?
Nobody communicated.
I said, did safety address this situation? He was trying to get a big go, and you cut him out. He said,
because I listened to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I listened to you. We listen. That's how we succeed.
To buy in on safety, your people is part of the team.
Yep.
Okay? I don't care about a big report on it. What I want to see and what I appreciate about your safety people, you see a guy, your safety guy notices something out of the ordinary. He walks over there. He verbally looks at the guy and say, hey.
Is there a better way?
Yeah, I noticed something. Yeah, I noticed in about 10 minutes you kept taking your glasses off. Is there some chums or something? What can I do to help you keep your glasses on?
How can we
help you?
Support operation? How can we support the guys in the field? How can we serve the guys and girls doing the work? And that has to be safety's philosophy. It has to be, how can we serve? How can we serve? How can we be helpful? Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see a report where you send me and you said, Emmanuel was on location 222 or whatever.
He saw this.
Okay, he acknowledged 3 guys with taking their safety glasses off for a period of time, come over and address the group.
Yep.
And told them, what can we do to help? Okay, I see that in the report. Oh, all right. Okay.
We addressed it.
Okay, safety, everybody's like, they're Nazis or cops. Okay, so I see this I read my report. Okay, so who am I holding responsible now? Mm-hmm. Let's go up. Whose crew was he on? Who was his foreman? Okay, I call the foreman. Okay, I seen the report there. Them guys, can you keep an eye on them and kind of just drive home what Emmanuel was saying today? Just let's keep them going. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've made that a team effort. Mm-hmm. I've not pointed out one guy. Okay, Emmanuel comes back. He noticed the same thing. Mm-hmm. Well, I just told the foreman, are you coaching and making sure? Because safety, you ain't right there breathing down their throat. You're going through. Everybody out there is a safety man. That foreman's responsible for them.
That's the key.
You know, what's good is like every time I walk out on site, because I'm not there all the time, they're like, why do you always, that's that complacency. You've heard the theory, you can't see the forest because of the trees. Mm-hmm. Coming in outside, you walk up and you're like, hey, what do we got here? Mm-hmm. What are y'all doing here? Oh, man, y'all been all walking by this. Mm-hmm. Well, how'd you notice it? Well, you come in, take an approach, look it over, So take advice. My biggest, bring safety in as a team. They're not Nazis. They're there as a tool for the team to acknowledge trends, to see things, and to educate and learn from. And then if we got someone on the team, we talk about that weak link, if we've identified some hazards and some problems and we've not corrected it and they're not going to be on board
Their
trying to
behavior.
buy their behavior, they may have to be let go. You know, when you really don't fire, my approach to people fire themselves, you know. But
when you coach and train and train and train and you keep noticing the same behavior, the negative behavior or an unwillingness to learn behavior, then you guys cut
I call it the safety pie effect. If you got an apple pie.
I love I love these.
And, you know, I'm a big old boy. I like to eat. I'd want this big piece. That little bitty piece right there makes up 1% of that pie, Apollonia. But if it's solid rotten and spoiled, it trickles into the 99% and it ruins the whole pie, don't it?
Yeah.
Because
every time.
That's the same thing, that cancer you talk about.
Yeah.
We can't allow that. That's what there's our key indicators that hurts the team. You know,
people
attitude. You want to build a culture, keep a good attitude. I try to be
like
optimistic.
Optimistic.
You know,
keep a
people negative. Chicken Little, sky has fallen. Well, my goodness. You know, there's some of them Debbie Downers, Thomas the Doubter, you know. Oh, my goodness.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. Look at them. If you watch a negative person, they always blame someone else.
Yes.
Because before they even get started, they know they may fail.
Yep. Yes.
And they don't want to, when something happens, I can't get nothing done. Their safety, their inspections breathing down my throat.
No responsibility.
No responsibility.
And they're going to bring everyone down. They're going to make sure that it's just like, this light, and then this one person that comes in, just heavy negativity, and then they're going to try to bring every single person down.
Apollonia is my job. I get the calls where they're griping or whatever from the client. I see their complaint. Then I say to myself, how am I going to communicate this to the team? Okay, looks like we need to prove here. Am I going to go to the team and say, they've done it again? No, I don't even trickle that. Hey, I get calls that I don't even tell the team or anything. My job is to fix that.
So I like where you're going with this.
So I go in there and I tell them, I'll give them a bullet point of stuff I want them to talk about. Don't even tell them why they're doing it. And the next thing you know, you get a call. Hey, them guys are improving on some stuff out there. Did you have a talk? Did you rip? No, I believe they just started. Don't make it an issue. I'm so optimistic. I've always, sometimes you got to show me I can't do it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if man built it, why can't we build it? You build
I know
each
that's
other
your
up.
attitude.
Build them up. You know, you handed.
So instead of ripping everyone down,
my gosh,
the company man just called and you guys are doing this. You spin it and you build up the people.
I went up to the location up here off 90 north of here. The rig's too close to Caleb. We can't do no digging. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I went to Denver yesterday. We set the meeting. I used to work for a guy named Carl Biggs back in the oil field in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me, Martin, I don't want to hear the labor pains, just show me the baby. That means he don't want no complaining, get the job done, make it safe, and produce. Okay. Everybody talks about productivity. Everybody's worried about getting the job done. If you abide by safety and these standard operating procedures, believe me, you will produce and be on time and on budget. Because one incident, what's it do, Apollonia? Throws everything back.
None of it else.
Everybody's like, boy,
nothing else matters.
I could get something done if it wasn't for safety out there. How many times have you heard that? I've heard that over the years.
Yeah.
Safety, they didn't allow me. I can't. No, that's not.
See, and that's golden to hear coming from you, because you've been there, you've done that, and you know it's possible that when you make safety an actual priority, when everyone's well-being and attitude is a priority to you, and safety's first, then you're saying it is possible.
You know what I told the guy?
To get it done.
One of the major oil companies, we was sitting there negotiating. I said, I'm going to tell you something. There's two things that I will not negotiate on or waiver. Mm-hmm. I said, pricing, we can always negotiate. Mm-hmm. But I said, safety of my men and quality of their work, there's no negotiating. Mm-hmm. It is, there will be. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have me cut down manpower. You want me to cut back
that's
on
unsafe,
manpower and work more hours.
Yeah.
Then we got a safety issue.
See, that's...
And I will not jeopardize that, or I will not compromise the safety of the men or the quality of their work to get faster product. You know, and that's, if I can explain it went 2 days longer than it should have. Can I explain why did I get someone killed?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then, no one's working. But that's what we got to watch in the industries. And team, if we're not a team player, you're not going to be successful. And I like your approach with safety. You bring it on as a team. And you're willing to listen to what, you've called me. Keith, what do you think about,
what do you need? What do you want?
These guys are giving me reports, I'm reporting on them to you.
I like
they may
it.
not,
That's important.
I'm evaluating what, if I see a guy, I could call you and say, hey, I don't think your safety guy's cutting it because I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, the attitude is not.
And then it's not being a snitch. We're proactive, trying to say, hey, putting someone over safety that's not about safety, that's a cancer.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why our working relationship, I think, has been so successful, because I'm not hard-headed. I'm not so one-sided where I think my way is the right way all the time.
We're open to new ideas.
I'm always open because
suggestions.
Yeah, and because your guys' business is always evolving and it's changing, and we need to then evolve and change to cater your needs. It's not the other way around. We're here to serve the guys and the girls in the field, and so with that philosophy, we always win.
I like just what you say. Our approach to each other when we have issues, and that's what I try to tell management out there in the field, like say safety or any kind of issue. I'll tell you how I am. If you come at me
open, you're open. You'll tell the truth.
I'm open.
Yeah.
You come at me saying, "What the hell?" You know what you're gonna get back from me? What the hell?
I wouldn't know because I've never approached you like that, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, I'm easy going, but if you come to me confrontational, what's your reaction? Confrontational.
Yeah.
So let's step back a moment. You talk about team on safety. Come to someone and be able to approach them with
respect.
Respect, and you're going to get that back. And then if you don't, there's something.
Even in tough times.
Yeah.
Even in tough times.
Always sit there and. My dad gave me some good advice back when my first daughter was born.
Let's hear it.
He said, when you discipline that child, do not do it when you're angry or mad. I thought about that.
My dad should have listened to that advice.
He doesn't act. My dad used to whip up my ass in a matter of seconds if you done something wrong, but you kind of feeling bad, I guess. But if you do a knee-jerk reaction on discipline or safety or whatever, or say you're trying to.
A foreman was
say someone makes you, they piss you off.
Yeah, conflict every day.
Is that a good time to make a decision on something?
No.
That's stuck in my head.
So you took that philosophy and you bring it to how you approach
reason.
Business and your guys, because you deal with conflict every single day. And I see how it.
Note it. Note the problem that you see.
Yeah.
Take a break for a second.
Breathe.
And then make a decision before you address it. And I thought that, I think I spanked my daughter one time when she was about 2. She pushed my niece off a picnic table eating a hot dog. And my niece got choked. And I spat at my daughter like that.
Did she just lose
Oh, she left
it?
it. I could discipline her by just, Tasha,
And she's like,
I'm disappointed in you. And, but there's different approaches, just like you say. And knowing your team, every individual is different, how you approach them. But know that, and don't make knee-jerk decisions when it comes to stuff. But, I'm by no means, I don't know it all, but don't claim to, but learning every day. But I think to be successful, that was one of your questions is just knowing your team and working as a unit, as one. We start popping out as individuals.
You won't grow, you won't expand, and you won't succeed. And that has been the philosophy that I've seen you guys over the last couple years, is making people number one, treating every single person with respect, whether it's their first day on the job or whatnot. You guys have always made it about the people, and that's what I respect about you and your guys.
Me and Brody tell everybody, you should be able to come talk to us about anything.
Yeah.
We're busy, and we're bumping around, and, there are people like...
You're in the field all the time.
What are they doing, jumping around? But they're busy, but we will take time. If you come to us with an issue, be willing to answer. We want them to come to us and not feel let them know you can come to us,
You guys have always had that
philosophy. Open door policy, I guess, is what we...
Yeah.
Open door policy.
I think you guys respect that, the guys and girls at the company, and I'm excited for the next couple months, for the next couple years for you guys. I know that you guys have a lot in the works. I know you guys are expanding, and it's excited. I'm appreciative that I'm able to watch your guys' journey, but I appreciate your time today, and I think that a lot of people are going to get a lot of value out of this, how to build a team, the culture aspect, and the overall keeping people number one. Really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me in here. I know we kind of jumped around on a lot of stuff.
It's good.
But, hopefully we can get back together and maybe discuss just a key topic. Maybe someone might have a question on something. And
that's exactly
if they have a question on a topic or something, maybe you let me know and something and say, Keith, is there, over the years, can you kind of speak on some of this topic or something? And, Apollonia, we sit there and talk. Whatever we said today, if it helped one person, is worth it.
To you.
Worth my time here today.
Absolutely.
So, and
I will.
Like I say, it's just, there's a lot to talk about, and I think I like your approach here, and, come from someone that's been out in the field and stuff,
Yeah.
You don't learn this, and, there's some Harvard grad, he went to, he didn't go to Harvard, he went to Yale. We was sitting in there, and, we was given the budget there, and I handed it in there, and on my little notebook, they make fun of my notebook, I was always writing stuff down. So, what school, he's talking about Yale. He said, so on this, where did you learn to do? I said, I went to school at Lamar, Lamar. He thought Lamar University. That's, where I grew up at. And
you
said,
told him
I
this?
like this. He said, where did you do? I said, well, they didn't teach you at Yale that part. That's something I learned there. So, we learn out in the field and what works and what don't. And always apply things that works. And the people, respect the people and your employee, they're number one, and make them feel number one. I don't want to work for someone that I know don't care about me.
Yeah,
just
no one does. No one does.
Don't want to be like that, and that you'll be a statistic. If you're a number to them, I don't want to be the company that goes over a report. Well, we had 2 fatalities. What was that employee number? 225. Okay, yeah. What was his name? No, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
God forbid anybody. Knock on wood. I don't. Not on my shift.
And I like what you said. If you're listening, and if you have any questions, if you're new to the industry, or if you're growing and expanding your team, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, leave comments direct. You can learn more about us. You could find us on your favorite social media platform. If you have any specific questions for Keith too, please reach out. And I agree. I think what we'll do is we'll have, I think I want to bring people in a sneak peek to your guys at one of your safety stand downs or a safety meeting. We'll have David, the videographer, we'll do a clip, and I want the viewers to
you
see.
can spend a day in the field on projects.
And he can,
You know,
he can get it.
You know, integrity. That's doing the right thing when no one's watching.
Yeah.
Well, me and you might go check the integrity of my crews.
Let's go do it. That'll be the next show.
Yeah,
That'll be
integrity check. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we sit here and talk this, and they're going, yeah, this keeps blowing smoke right up our ass, but we'll go to the field, folks, and see what they are doing.
There we go. I think that would be perfect.
And like you said, it's good. You guys they may have a suggestion that's going to help all of us.
Hey, I want to hear your suggestions.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you guys have done to also build a team and culture, even if you're not here in Colorado, people listening all over. What have you guys done to make your company successful and keep the culture up? And how are you going to operate? What's your growth strategy now that we're going to be facing probably another little boom? We'll see.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping for. And and like I say,
I want to hear your guys' input. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that kind of like say, I don't want to be the deal. We want to be real. You know, we're real. Don't just come up with, let's just be real and face real. Be real.
Yeah.
You know, that.
People can see through it. People can see through if you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think this is good, Apollonia, to have something like this because, literature, you get stuff crammed down your throat on how you're supposed to do things.
Let's just talk about it.
But anyway.
This is for the frontline workers. This is for the people.
Real-time work and, real-time issues. Not scenarios that was in a book. I can talk to you about real-time stuff, and maybe, we want to hear about people's stuff out there, too.
Yeah, please leave your comments.
We learn from stuff like that. So hopefully you get some feedback. And like I say, I enjoyed today, and
awesome.
I think it's worth taking time to do this, if it helps someone. So
well, I appreciate it. And you guys heard Keith. We want to hear your guys' feedback, and we'll end at that. Keep people first. I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway. So I really appreciate it.
No matter what business you think you're in, you better be in the people business.
Absolutely.
You want to be successful.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening. See you next time.